Did you begin with an attention-catching statement? Did you state your position and stick to it? Did you sketch out at least 3 propositions or arguments in your opening paragraph? Did you develop your first argument in the first paragraph of the main body of your essay? Did you explain that argument in some detail, elaborating on it? Did you do the same for your second argument in the next paragraph? Did you do the same for your third argument in the following paragraph? Did you review your arguments in the conclusion paragraph? Did you end with something dynamic, like a rhetorical question or a killer punch statement? Did you read through your essay, trying to identify punctuation and spelling errors? Did you come to the conclusion that your piece of writing was structured, well balanced, and likely to persuade the reader? Here are some useful phrases for your persuasive essay. Persuading. Some people think it would be useful to consider, do they really think that? In my experience, common sense dictates that. What would happen if? By far the best solution would be, it's frightening to think that. We need to make sure that. I have no doubt that. Imagine what would happen if. I'm sure you will agree that. There can be only one conclusion. Some sentence examples. Some people think that space exploration is a massive waste of money. I'll record that again. Some people think that space exploration is a massive waste of money. Do you really think that people are going to accept this new law? Common sense dictates that we should avoid close contact with people in these troubled times. It is frightening to think that a number of our rarest species will disappear in the next decade. There can be only one conclusion. This argument will never be accepted by the majority of people because it is based on unsound reasoning. Generalizing. Generally speaking, overall, on the whole, in general, by and large, it seems to me that, I believe, all in all, basically, essentially, as a rule, all things considered, for the most part. Here are some sample sentences. By and large, healthcare in sub-Saharan Africa will be the major issue in years to come. Essentially, what we have here is a problem of communication. The leaders are not getting their message through to the public. As a rule, you should make price comparisons before you invest in a new car, as there are many good deals to be found on the internet. All things considered, We simply have to agree that their assertion is not relevant to the debate. Expressing certainty. Certainly. Undoubtedly. Doubtless. No doubt. Definitely. Of course. Expressing partial agreement. More or less. To some extent. Up to a point. Almost. In a way. So to speak. Showing cause. Due to. Because. Because of. Owing to. Another reason. Although. Nevertheless. The most important. Above all else. Despite the fact that the first thing to do is later on I ultimately showing effect. Why not try out these openers to show the effect or result of an idea that you are putting forward? Therefore, as a result, consequently, for this reason, thus, so, thereby, eventually, hence, the reason why. Here are some illustrations to show you how to use them. For this reason, we can clearly state that Northern European countries are more affluent than their southern counterparts. The minister published the data, thereby confirming that indeed the country has a serious problem in this area. No one had any further questions. Hence his signal to conclude the press conference earlier than scheduled. The family had no income. For this reason, they sought support from their relatives. Giving examples. For example, for instance, such as, in other words, as, like, that is, namely, to illustrate, to paraphrase. Here are some examples. For example, there are many cases of the illness on the mainland, but not on the nearby subtropical island. Cars such as Mercedes, Porsche and BMW are the most expensive cars to buy in this country. To paraphrase, the president has no intention of visiting the factory, citing lockdown as the primary reason. Comparing. Similar to. As. In common. Also. Either or. In the same way. Neither nor. Just as. resemble. Here are some examples. Similar to these cases on the European mainland, we can see examples in North Africa. This green vegetable is extremely beneficial to our health. At the same time, it must be remembered that not all people like the taste of Brussels sprouts. Gorillas, in common with other primates, follow a largely vegetarian diet. Just as the weather affects our mood, so too does our lack of sleep. Marking time. Try and avoid the predictable phrases such as firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly. Instead, you could use phrases such as moreover, or in addition, simultaneously, after this, after that. Adding information. Try and use phrases such as furthermore, moreover, similarly, likewise, besides, what's more. If you want to express a condition, then start your sentence with words like if, whether, in case, unless, provided that, or so that. Here are some sentence examples. Firstly, I would like to consider the economic aspects. In addition, I will draw examples from political implications. First of all, we should consider the human factor. Simultaneously, we should not neglect the impact on the animal kingdom. People are growing more vegetables in their gardens. Likewise, many people are now having to cut their own hair, as barber shops are closed. Heat from the explosion damaged the local environment. What's more, many people standing near were affected by radiation. Whether it is correct to accept a bribe or not seems not to be a great moral question in many societies nowadays. Provided that you sign the form today, you will be able to benefit from a 50% reduction on the normal price. Summarizing. In summary, although there are many strong arguments for supporting the organization's campaign, the disadvantages far outweigh the advantages. To summarize, the death penalty is fundamentally wrong from a moral standpoint. Overall, it may be said that though many people subscribe to the view that fast food is cheap and practical, it has very grave consequences for the stability of our planet. We will never be able to replace the Amazon jungle. In closing, to sum up, finally, it may be concluded that, all in all, to conclude. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Don't forget to pass it on, place a like, and turn on your notifications.